I'm Emily Barrett. I'm presenting a study protocol for a qualitative investigation of emotion dysregulation in perinatal women. So pregnancy and the postpartum, which we refer to as the perinatal period, is a time of vulnerability for developing or worsening psychiatric disorders that are associated with negative outcomes for both parent and offspring. The good news is that proper identification and treatment can mitigate these negative outcomes. However, many go undiagnosed, and among those diagnosed, less than half receive treatments. So this suggests there's a great need for improved access to treatment and effective service delivery models. So to reach these goals, we really need a better understanding of the core symptoms and processes that underlie perinatal mental disorders. So one such core symptom is emotion dysregulation. And this refers to maladaptive emotion reactivity, so your emotional response to events, and maladaptive emotion regulation. So this would be problematic use or absence of strategies to regulate your emotions, deficient understanding and awareness of emotions, and the interpretation of your emotions as threatening. But little is known about how individuals actually experience emotion dysregulation during the perinatal period, as past research mostly used quantitative methods. So for our study, using qualitative methodology, we aim to identify how perinatal individuals with emotion dysregulation experience, understand, and regulate their emotions in the perinatal context, and how emotion regulation and reactivity may have changed during the perinatal period compared to before. So to do this, we hope to recruit around 20 perinatal individuals who have endorsed emotion dysregulation and were recruited from referrals to the Women's Health Concerns Clinic here at St. Joe's. Following recruitment, participants will complete an individual qualitative interview with questions such as, have you noticed a change in your emotions since you got pregnant? Participants will also complete some self-report measures as well. So for data transcription, we will be recording the interviews through Zoom, and we'll also be using Zoom's auto transcription service to create an initial transcription file, which will then be cross-referenced with the original recording for accuracy and to make sure it's verbatim. So once we have the transcribed data, we'll be doing a directed content analysis. And this general process involves first reading and reviewing the transcripts. Then in the organization phase, relevant meeting units will be highlighted and organized into codes, subcategories, and then core categories. So this process uses both deductive and inductive coding. So for deductive coding, a matrix of core categories and related subcategories will be derived from existing theory, and you can see these here in these orange boxes. We'll also be using inductive coding to capture any unique experiences of emotion dysregulation. So any codes that can't be organized into the deductive categories will be organized into new general categories to capture this information. For results, ultimately, we want to identify the characteristics of experienced emotion dysregulation during this time to better facilitate early identification. And we'd also like to learn a little bit more about what's driving perinatal vulnerability to emotion dysregulation from the perspective of perinatal individuals. So this figure here kind of demonstrates some of the key insights that we hope to gain from this study, and the arrows represent the bidirectional relationship between them. So we want to understand how these constructs interact during the perinatal period and what other factors might be driving them to explain increases in emotion dysregulation. For instance, for heightened emotion reactivity captured in the bottom yellow box here, this could be intensified by sleep disruption, for example, during pregnancy and the postpartum. Great, so for interpretation, the perinatal period may represent a critical window for improving emotion dysregulation, and having a better understanding of emotion dysregulation can aid in early identification, treatment outcomes, so the clinician's ability to tailor treatment to this population, and the definition of treatment targets specific to the perinatal population. So thinking about emotion dysregulation as a therapeutic target. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation today.